Rajim, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasul al-Karim. My brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And to my brothers of other faiths, may the peace and blessings of God be with you all. To start this program, I'll ask Brother Abdul Razak from Montserrat to come and give us a Quranic recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور رحيم. ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم. وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان فاستعذ بالله إنه هو السميع العليم. ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah, Brother Abdul Razak, for that wonderful recitation. First, let me just, on behalf of the organizing committee, welcome each and every one of you all here to this, our faith-based dinner function. And in particular, I would like to welcome our specially invited guests. And let me just start from my right, Pandit Bramdev Maharaj. Then we have Bishop Dr. Dave Allen. We have the Secretary of the Presbyterian Board, the Brother Selwyn Akbarali. We have Monsignor Christian Pereira from the Roman Catholic Archdiocese, and we have Brother Kevin Mohammed from the Seventh-day Adventist organization. And Let me just start by giving some quote from the Quran, as I did last night. And Quran, verse 2, 177, I think one was highlighted by Dr. Tutunji last night. It is not righteousness that you turn your face towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the last day, and the angels and the books and the messengers, to spend your substance out of love for Him, for your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayer and practice regular charity, to fulfill contracts which you have made, and to be firm and patient in pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. Such are the people of truth and God-fearing. And in verse 9, chapter 9, verse 71, we have the believers, men and women, are protectors to one another. They order the good and forbid the evil. In chapter 5, verse 2, cooperate in good and piety, and do not cooperate in sin and transgression. And fear Allah, for Allah is strict in punishment. And in verse 5, chapter 5, verse 2, Maida, and let not the hatred of some people in stopping you from Al-Masjid al-Haram lead you to transgression and hostility on your part. And in chapter 5, verse 8, and let not the enmity and hatred of others make you avoid justice. Be just, that is nearer to piety. And just as statistics, the Quran addresses human beings as Ya Ayyuhan Nas, or humankind, directly 306 times, and indirectly more than 2,000 times in its over 6,000 verses. In contrast, the Quran specifically addresses Muslim men and women by name 49 times. So I would like to, with that, welcome all, which I did already. And we had some apologies from the Hindu community, both the SDMS and Swaha organizations. They were unable to send their personnel, and they did want to do so. However, tonight is a special night in their calendar. It's a night where the devotees celebrate their gurus. So they would all be now at their temples tonight, treating with their gurus, which in most cases would be their pundits. I don't know how our good pundit here escaped that to be here. But they did apologize and indicate that that was the case. So the question is, why this event? Why a faith-based event like this? And the social challenges faced by all countries in the world certainly is clear proof that the politicians by themselves cannot handle the leadership responsibilities. The guidelines given by our Creator are being craftily changed, sidelined, and ignored. The result is a chaos we find that we are now seeing in every aspect of our daily lives. Crime and violence, human trafficking, widening gap between the exceedingly rich and the very poor, climate change issues, the rise of the LGBT movement, and the absence of justice at all levels. The voice of the faith-based people needs to be heard. We need to cease our silence and stand up to our responsibilities. It is imperative that we start working together. It is the only way to reverse the policy changes that have put us on the path of destruction of our societies. It will require a lot of hard work, dedication, compromise, and mutual respect. It will take some time, so we must have endurance. We must start working together. That is for sure. We are hopeful that this process starts tonight in Trinidad and Tobago. We encourage all participants in our weekend meetings to do the same in their respective countries when they do return. So I would like now to ask each of our special guests to bring greetings on the behalf of their organizations. So I'll start with Brother Kevin Mohammed from the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Assalamu alaikum. Pleasant good evening to each and every one of you, sisters and brothers. It's indeed a delight to be here this evening. I bring you all greetings from the administrators of the Seventh-day Adventist organization in Trinidad, particularly the president, Pastor Leslie Moses, from the head office of the Adventist Church here in this country. We are really delighted to have been invited to be a part of this interfaith dinner, and I must at this point express great satisfaction that meal was definitely delicious. And so I not only enjoyed the meal, but I also enjoyed the interaction and the dialogue with those who with me at the dinner table. Okay, I think the mic is working now. At the dinner table, I enjoyed the interaction and getting to know you all, and also getting to interact about religious beliefs, and also some comparisons and questions in relation to Islam and Christianity, and particularly the Adventist faith. I also want to express thanks for the book that was given, the Interfaith Dialogue, a guide for Muslims. I already began to look through it, and I see it's a book that myself and my organization could benefit greatly from, which would be able to enhance our relationship. I look forward for us as the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Trinidad in having a cordial and a warm and growing relationship and experience with the TML, or the Muslim community. Our church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, has participated over the past 3 years consecutively in interfaith dialogue with the TML and the Islamic Dawah movement. And we have benefited from that. We have enjoyed the experience. We have had several of our members from throughout the country attending those interfaith dialogues that we have had, or debates, and they have learned a lot from the Muslim community. So we would like to, on behalf of the administrators, let you all know that we are going to continue to do all that we can do as an organization, as a major Christian body that exists in Trinidad and Tobago, to have a good, cordial relationship with the Muslim community. And also, as a Seventh-day Adventist Church organization, we have a lot of positive contributions that we have been making to the wider society. We know that you may have heard that we are very strong in relation to health education, healthcare services, our hospital, clinics, and so on, and also our education with several primary and secondary schools, also our tertiary education with the University of the Southern Caribbean that is located not far from here, right in Maracas Valley in St. Joseph there. And so whatever community services, whatever we can do as a church as well to collaborate with you all, we are willing to do so that we could also bring about betterment to the lives of the people in this country. I do look forward to hearing from the main presenter for tonight, and I usually attend these seminars with an open mind to see what I can learn, what I can gather, and whatever information that I have, I will also pass it on to our members and congregations. Presently in Trinidad and Tobago, we have approximately 60,000 Seventh-day Adventists, almost 200 congregations. And so it's a church that is growing vastly and widely throughout the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So may God bless you all, abide with you all, and continue to lead you all to do wonderful things to the people of this country. Those who are visiting Trinidad, I trust that you would have a good stay with us, and you would enjoy the warm of this beautiful island in the Caribbean. God bless you all.
Thank you, Brother Kevin. We'll now ask Pandit Brabdev Maharaj to bring greetings from his organization.
Assalamu alaikum. You will pardon me, but I will have to tune in because I wouldn't like to be out of order. You see, even the mic refuses to cooperate.
That one working? All right.
Yes, as I was trying to say, you'll pardon me, but on occasions like this,
You have to go nearer to the mic.
Is that better? Yeah, good. You'll pardon me, but I would, if I spend a minute to tune in, because I would like to be in order, not out of order. Vinayakam Gurum Bhanum Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaran Saraswatim Pranamyadav Sarvakaryartha Siddhaye. O God, we thank you for being able to gather here this evening. We hope and pray that the purpose of the gathering will be served, and for this we seek your blessings. I must congratulate the organizers, because the sooner we realize that each one of us here to this universe is like a cell of the human body to the body as a whole. No part of any whole will be able to even survive on its own by itself. And the sooner we come to realize what the reality is, that we are not islands unto ourselves, but just as an island is seemingly separated from the landmass that goes to make up this universe, this globe, this world, we are also interconnected and interdependent. We depend on ourselves, we depend on each other, and of course, we all depend on God. The sooner we realize our interconnectedness, our dependence on each other, and ultimately on God, the better it would be. On behalf of the Hindu community, it gives me great pleasure to be here this evening to take part in this noble deed, and I pray that this will not be the ending, it will not be a one-off, but it will be the beginning of a new beginning. No group by itself will be able to resolve the problems that we all face. We all need, at the individual level, the family level, the societal level, the community level, nationally and internationally, because, while it is one world, and whatever happens in one corner will affect the other corner, this was not so evident in the past, but it is becoming more and more evident now. So much so that whoever wins an election in another country is of consequence to your country, to our country. So, let us hope and pray that we will all come to realize whatever seem to be the differences between us really should not be taken so seriously. Whatever the color of our skin, whatever our ethnicity, whatever our race, whatever our religion, we have to transcend all of this. We must promote spirituality. We are all children of the one God, and we should live as good siblings. So once again, thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope that the purpose of the gathering will be served. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pandit. I now ask my brother D. Valen to bring readings.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Sitaram. Good evening to one and all. It is my pleasure here to just bring greeting to you and to congratulate you all on this noble initiative. I wear many hats in the community of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's all about trying to develop a very great nation. I serve as the head of the Central Interreligious Committee, the Central, not the National, and as the Vice Chair of the Central Interagency. And it's all about, trying to get people together and trying to get understanding. As the head of the Central Interreligious Committee, my responsibility is to get people of all leaders, spiritual leaders, of all the different religious bodies to come together, Catholic, Presbyterian, Baptist, Hindu, Muslim, everybody to come together. And let's understand that there are issues in our society that are facing all of us. And if we come together, we don't have to change our belief system, We have to hold on to our belief system, but we have to understand and respect each other. And we have to come together to deal with the issues that are facing all of us. All of us. You know, I have a television program called New System for Living with Dr. Dave Allen. And I started off my program, this one that will be aired on Sunday, by apologizing. Said, I want to apologize. I don't know if I have the rights to apologize, but I am apologizing because I don't see anybody apologizing. And I'm apologizing on behalf of all the religious leaders, all the teachers, all the government ministers, for all the victims and the families of the victims of heinous and horrendous crime in our society. It means that we who are the religious leaders of this country and the teachers and those, the moral, we are supposed to develop, we are the guardians of morality and spirituality. And if the state of our country, the latest report that Trinidad is now the highest, higher than Jamaica in crime, we are reaching some kind of highs. We are becoming famous for some kind of negative things. And why is it happening? Because we as religious leaders and religious people, we are not doing enough. And I will support any initiative that will move towards taking back our country and getting us back famous and getting us known for the right things. God bless you all.
Thank you, Brother Allen. Well said. As usual, I would now ask my brother Selwyn Akbar Ali, or Afzal Akbar Ali has been introducing himself, to bring greetings on behalf of the Presbyterian Church.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to everyone. First of all, I want to bring courtesies on behalf of the moderator of the Presbyterian Church. She's currently in Germany right now attending a meeting of the World Communion of Reformed Churches. So just like you all who have delegates from all over the world here, she is representing the Presbyterian Church of Trinidad and Tobago in Germany at that meeting. I am Afzal Akbar Ali, the General Secretary of the Presbyterian Church. Unfortunately, a member of our clergy couldn't be here this evening, and as the administrative head, I was asked to attend. And a lot of people said, well, you're the right person to go, because when Hafiz told me what it was about and I tried to ask people to come, well, everybody had something else on their agenda today. And they said, well, you are the one that is fit to attend because, you know, it's matters that will be on government's legislative agenda that they are going to be dealing with, and that having been sitting in at meetings that dealt with the Child Act, and also there is one that we attended concerning gambling in our community, they said, well, you go prepare the reports, and I will have to prepare reports, so Hafiz is giving me extra work, but I take it with, you know, the intention that it was given for the betterment of our society. The Presbyterian Church next year will be celebrated 150 years of being in Trinidad and Tobago. Reverend John Morton came and he went to the sugarcane estates to bring religion, Christian religion, to the indentured servants. And that was 150 years ago. And we will be celebrating 150 years of serving this community of Trinidad and Tobago. And we would like to continue for at least another 150 years. And in order to do that, we have to work hand in hand. Many of you all will know that the Presbyterians provide education. We have 72 primary schools, 5 secondary schools. We work with the denominational board, the denominational education board, to ensure that the denominational schools provide a certain standard of education. However, on other issues, we seem not to be coming together, and I don't know what is the reason. At one time, the IRO was very strong with the people like Reverend Cyril Paul, Archbishop Pantin, Dr. Wahid Ali, and now if you ask people who are the members of the IRO, nobody might even be able to tell you. But perhaps Reverend Burke might be a name that we would know, but some of the other people we don't know. And that is because we have lost that visibility. We have lost that say in the direction that our country is going, in the direction that we would like the country to go. So this is an opportunity here, and I wish the organizers of this forum that you are successful, and that each one of you, when you go back to your own home country, you take what is good that came out of this seminar that you have here, and that you build in your country as well as we in Trinidad build on the work that is done here. It may seem like a mustard seed, but whatever comes out of it, if we take it on a positive note, we will build and we will continue to make the changes that we see necessary. I thank you all, and I wish you all continued success in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Afzal. We now ask Monsignor Christian Pereira to do his.
Thank you very much. And it's wonderful to be here this evening as you share this very important networking in our Caribbean region, connected with others from beyond our Caribbean region. On behalf of the leadership and the membership of the Roman Catholic Church, I bring you all greetings and best wishes, as I too would like to apologize for the apparent failure of our church to sustain a dynamic presence in one of the major realities of our nation, which is the inter-religious organization. And trusting, as has been said by previous speakers, that we can rekindle the zest and the enthusiasm of what has been described as indeed a very visionary and noble enterprise, started, as we heard, by people like Archbishop Pantin, Reverend Cyril Paul, Dr. Wahid Ali, and others, based on the work of people like Reverend Idris Hamid, who pioneered a lot of theological discussion out of St. Andrew's College in San Fernando. My dear brothers and sisters, in bringing you the peace of the Almighty, I recall the fact that we need among ourselves to embrace that peace and to allow that peace that we open our hearts to from the Almighty to deepen within us a spirit of self-respect. If we deeply respect ourselves as sons and daughters of the Almighty, we grow in a greater respect for one another, a respect that transcends the very many differences that we must also thank the Almighty for, allowing us to be different and yet still to be known as His sons and daughters. I would like to remind us that as we proceed with a program like this gathering, that it is important for us to learn to pray together. prayer is a very crucial way not only of addressing the Almighty, but of bonding and uniting people. And when a people can pray together, we talk about the family that prays together, stays together. It is in the interest of those who want to destroy our society that God-fearing people remain isolated and divided. When we learn to pray together, we build that respect, that communion, that harmony among ourselves, because together we are addressing the one and only Supreme Being. We must work together because poverty and challenges affect people regardless of their age, religion, ethnicity. And many of us are involved in a lot of good work, trying to care for the homeless, trying to care for the sick in the hospital of the Seventh-day Adventists and other institutions, commitment to health. And all of us know the tragedies of health in so many ways: poverty, unemployment, people losing their jobs, families divided because of financial realities. And as men and women united in our relationship with God, we must not only pray together, but we must learn to work with each other, supporting each other in such a way that we can address the social evils, not because of our particular power, but rather addressing the social challenges because of our unity and our respect for each other. We must, like we are doing this weekend or this time, learn to study together, learn to appreciate the traditions and teachings of the sacred writings of each other, to be grounded in my own book, in my own holy book, without understanding the scriptures of other religions, makes me narrow and not a true son of the Almighty. And all of us must learn to become familiar with not just the books, the holy books, but the theologians and mystics of each other's traditions, so that when we share knowledge, when we share intellectual research, we grow in a greater sense of understanding the traditions. And there are more things that unite us than divide us. When we don't know, we look easily at the differences. When we learn and we study, when we understand and we reflect, we realize how much there is in each other that truly keeps us together. And might I add a last point, and that is, as religious people, we must learn to play together. Having fun is part of the Almighty's plan for all His children. Enjoying nature, creation, learning to exchange fun time with each other is important for building our society. When we go into things like organizing inter-community cricket matches, inter-religious, football and tournaments, we all do that among our own selves. And we all try to develop our own particular, talents. We Catholics, we Baptists, we Hindus, we Muslims have this. No, we must learn to share with each other, because the Caribbean is suffering at this time from a true decline in our sporting capacity. We know the pain of our footballers, the greater pain of our cricketers, and that requires a resolve from all of us to come together once again and learn how to enjoy each other's company, playing with and truly enjoying the fellowship. Caribbean cricket is being destroyed by the very same thing that is destroying the children of God. The insularity, the power, the divisiveness, the desire to divide. And you and I, we all together, must realize the presence of evil within our midst and try to rise above that by learning how to pray, to work, to study, and to play together. May God continue to bless us all and grant that this conference will truly be an enriching contribution to the well-being of our Caribbean peoples. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ferrer. I now ask Brother Noble Khan, who would now represent the Muslim community.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The peace and blessings of God Almighty be with us this day and forevermore. I do indeed bring greetings on behalf of the Muslim community and particularly of the Trinidad Muslim League, which is stationed here today. At this momentous occasion of many of the Caribbean peoples are here and the neighboring bodies, and in our trust here today, we will be successful in expanding in such a way that what is taking place worldwide, where there is obviously a need for rearming in the sense of equipping ourselves with the moral and the religious structures which are our tools. And obviously then, if we do face this challenge in a proper way, we will be able to overcome. Within recent times, we know that particularly in the Caribbean area here, not been the best. And from what we have heard here today, by some of our top speakers here represented and even beyond, I think the challenge will be that we are faced with will be equally met with and we will overcome. To this end, I hope and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, the ever hearing, the ever knowing, will assist us in our efforts. May God bless us here today and all who have participated. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Noble Khan. And we'll move quickly on to our main speaker of the evening, Dr. Atullah Siddiqui. And Atullah Siddiqui is the director of the Mafield Institute of Higher Education, as well as a visiting fellow in the School of Historical Studies, the University of Leicester, and a visiting research fellow at Center for Health and Spirituality, Faculty of Health, Staffordshire University. His interests include religious pluralism, interfaith relations, and various aspects of education related to Islam and in the United Kingdom. Siddiqui has been a vice chair of the Christian Muslim Forum and a senior research fellow at the Islamic Foundation. He co-edits Encounters, Journal of Intercultural Perspectives, and is the author of Christian-Muslim Dialogue in the 20th Century and Islam at Universities in England, Meeting the Needs and Investing in the Future. I now ask Dr. Atullah Siddiqui to address us.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you okay with this one? Okay, Bismillah. Bismillah. What I will try to do is that sum up few things and try to engage on the basis of my experience with working with so many other people. And it is a great privilege to be here with the fellow travelers in faith, here with them, but also the organizers who have organized this conference, and also one of the mujahid of this whole thing, Dr. Tutunji. It's a great pleasure to meet you here again. Monsignor has raised 4 issues, education, and one of the aspects that you have raised was play together. And before I start, I'll give you a very interesting example of our experience in Leicester. We had the Christian-Muslim dialogue group for a long time. So we used to raise funds for the charities, a Muslim charity, a Christian charity, and local charity. And charity fundraising will start from Ramadan to Lent. So every mosque, every church, everybody will be interested in raising funds. So we thought, let us have some more fun about that. So we started madrasa and Sunday school football match. And gradually, the team built up and 2 teams arrived at the final. And we said to raise the funds, the best fun will be Imam clergy football match. So 2006, we had Imam and clergy football match. Believe me, BBC was interested, Al Jazeera was interested, everybody was interested. Church Times first page, Imam and clergy playing football. But then the 2006 and Muslim imams won the match. So Bishop said, no, we will have cricket match. So after that, what happened? Within a year, Leicester's Christian and Muslims together having football with Bradford. Today, it is an annual event that the Muslims and Christians of UK have football match with Sweden, with the imams and clergy. In Sweden, as well as in Germany. It is becoming like an event. What happened? It made religion accessible, interesting. Imam and clergy were human. They were unreachable before. So this is just a small example. The fundraising is still going on, and sharing of the fund, Christian charity, Muslim charity, and local charity. Let me start by saying that there is no interfaith without faith. In order to enter an interfaith, you have to have faith. You see, the ultimate objective in interfaith relations is that I want to enter into dialogue and relationship and action with values of my faith. I do not want to leave my religion at home and mix and match some of my religions and create a new religion and say now it's an interfaith. I really hope it will never happen. I like to participate in interfaith relations and action with my values, with others' values. So this is the first point I just wanted to highlight. Second point, just before I start, I'd like to highlight the differences of religion is plan of God. It will remain. Differences of religion will remain. It is human burden how we can work together and put into action what we believe in. I think that is what we call the racing or competing in good relationship. As a race, we should compete in this good relationship. So this is the important part I like to highlight in our relation number 2. The third point that I like to highlight is entering into a dialogue or relationship with another religion is not simply about faith. It is about history, it is about context, and also about all the other things that are going on. Say, for example, as I do not know very much about Trinidad, but I know a little bit more about England. entering into a dialogue with Christians in England means I'm entering into a worldview of Christian shaped by Anglican Church and Anglican thinking. So when I enter into church, Christian-Muslim dialogue, relationship, I'm really entering into the mindset of the others, carried by history. And that is the important part in interfaith relations. It is not simply what you believe, one God or two God or three God, four, all sorts of things. No. Once you enter into dialogue, be prepared that you are entering in somebody else's shoes. Be cautious. Remember that you are entering a different world. To understand the other person's values is what the interfaith is also important. Here I like to say, in interfaith relations, recognizing the otherness of the other and valuing the otherness of the other. I want to know what is so important in you that you are still Christian and I am still a Muslim. In that relationship, the values is a very important part in interfaith relationship. Sometimes it is important. This is my third point. Another point that I like to highlight in this relationship is that because we have a very good relationship does not mean that we have succeeded in interfaith relations. Now, here I like to give you two examples. In the height, let me put it this way. The best understanding of each other, if you want to say what was the period, the best understanding in Europe, best understanding of Muslims and Christians, where they could mix each other, understand each other, everything. It was Bosnia, where people could not differentiate. It is mixed, it is so close. Jewish height of understanding, meeting, and recognizing the others was in 1920s and 30s. Just because we are very good understanding in each other does not give you a guarantee that there will be no problems. When the crisis came in Bosnia, it was what you said yesterday. It says what you have said to us in 1389. So in Jewish context as well, it was the past brought to the present. Here we have to be very careful that in relationship between the faiths, history and memory plays a very important role. And both are not neutral. My memory of history will be completely different than your memory of the same history. And therefore, we have a responsibility in our relationship that we will be honest to our history, but we will engage and understand. Now, I'll give you one or two examples here. Say, for example, when Hindus and Muslims will meet, both of us, our memories are different. Hindus will say, what we have done when the Mughals came. Muslims will say, what is happening today, because they do not understand what the other person is feeling, what he's going through. So each one has a different memory and different history. Sikh-Muslim relationship is exactly the same thing. Sikh's memory of the worst part of memory is Mughal period. How the Mughals killed two of our Sikhs, gurus. Muslim memory is what the Sikhs did in the division of India and Pakistan. So its starting points are different. So in relationship, in interfaith relationship, it is absolutely essential that bilateral relationship started. There is a value in bilateral relationship to address our past. And history and memories are a very important role it plays today and also in the future. Let us address that in our interfaith relationship. Interfaith relationship. And these are very important part, I believe, we need to have in interfaith relations. Interfaith relations or relations with the other communities is also action-oriented, is important. We can sit there, talk for hours and hours and hours, but with no conclusion is a very dangerous thing. I have attended many interfaith gatherings. It is not dialogue, it is complete monologue in the name of dialogue. So, this is the challenge. Challenge is that in the interfaith relations, sometimes we sit there, we talk, but we do not listen what the other person is saying. Because we are so keen to tell, our ears are blocked. In interfaith relations, it is important when we meet and sit. In my view, it is equally important to open your ears and see what the other person is saying. And as I said before, in interfaith relationship, when we listen, then we speak. That has a different meaning. As I said earlier, the person, when he or she speaks, he or she is speaking with a burden of history, culture, language, things that have been carried, wants to say something. Other person has a responsibility to understand that way of understanding, that way of knowing and understanding as such. Interfaith relationship is not simply about friendship. It is about trust building. We need to build the trust first. Once you become trusting each other, then you will be able to encounter each other. I was involved in 10 years in Jews, Christians, and Muslims senior level dialogue. Bishops, rabbis, chief rabbis, we used to sit twice a year, sometimes once a year. In the morning session, we will discuss theological issues. In the afternoon, we will discuss the contemporary things that hurts me because of you. So we used to have a very open discussions. Believe me, it used to be very hot discussions. 9/11 happened. There was a proposal that we should write a joint statement that we all agree on. So we all sat together, start communicating with email, and every now and then we sat together. You know something? For 3,000 words, it took 2.5 hours, 2.5 years. Because every time somebody says, this is what I'm saying, Muslims say, this is what not I understand. Christians say, this is not my understanding is. And it took 2.5 years to write 3,000 words. And we published in 3 journals, Christian, Muslim, and Jewish journals. So this is the nature. That was the best dialogue. Because we never knew how the other person felt, how the other person has a value, what the other person wants to express. Let me say, the moment we use the term worship, we mean something, Christian means something, somebody else understands differently. Worship have a different meaning. Prayer has different meaning. So each word that has a value, that has a history, that's a meaning, that's a culture. All these things are very valuable, very simple. So what I'm saying is, let us understand what this word means in another context. And then we enter into that part. Now, here again, what I like to say, we are living in a plural society with multiple identities, with various levels of suspicion and mistrust of the other. No matter how much you say, I need to encounter my own understanding about my own self, but also the other. So, I'm standing here in front of my Hindu friend here, but as soon as we stand, I have 4 different levels of image about the other person. Is he a particular type of Hindu? Is this part of Hindu? So I'm creating minds, developing mind. And he is doing the same. Unless we enter into proper engagement and with the purpose to clarify our mistakes, this inherent misunderstanding will continue. In our history and memory, which I am repeating quite constantly, is that our immediate action when we meet between two peoples, two communities, we need to say, for example, in my Indian context, I used to say my neighbors were Hindus and Buddhists. They were very nice, we were very good. But when I look at myself, the image that I have, be careful with them. This word, be careful. This sort of suspicion, inherent suspicion, creates a huge problem later on. And in this dialogue relationship, we do not need to defend our wrongs. If we have done something wrong in the past, we don't need to defend that. This is why the Vatican II, Second Vatican Council of the Catholic Church's document about Islam is very important, because it asks for the forgiveness that we have done something wrong in the past and we want to build a future. And that is a very important part. I believe in this context, any interfaith relation should have clarity what I'm going to do. And I would say clarity should come from the development of friendship, building to trust, encounter, and engagement. And engagement has to be genuine engagement of relationship between the people. So I'd just like to stop here, and I'll thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that Trinidadians here, the people here, will make use of the resources, of religious resources that is available here for the future. And finally, remember, in any interfaith relations, there is a one invisible partner, always present. With the reference of that invisible partner we talk today, and it's called the secular, is always there. That is the dominant language of the world, the Enlightenment world, the secular world. Every religion is confronting that idea, and even, for example, the whole idea of human rights is a secular, international, dominant language. But is this the language of religion? How will you explain that? So all those things has to be discussed, and in any interfaith relation, I believe the third partner is always present. Thank you very much.
your brother Atullah. And you know, after I heard the guys up here talk, I said, all right, this is a breeze, we'll get things going. And then Dr. Atullah came and made it sound so complicated. But it is necessary that we take note of all those, as he said, invisible issues and bring them out to the fore to be able to really develop a proper relationship with our brothers of other faiths. And I think that this evening has been very revealing to me, at least, in terms of what we are trying to achieve and what is necessary to be achieved from an interfaith standpoint to really address all the social ills of the world and our country and every different country. But it is something that needs to be attempted and really worked at to ensure that we get there, because if we don't, we'll continue along the road that we are going now. So let me thank you all for staying up late here and waiting to hear, because I'm sure it was because it was very interesting. So may I just say, we thank God Almighty for bringing us of different faiths together this evening. We ask Him to cause us to work together in His cause, to give victory over the challenges of our societies, that we may improve the lives of our communities and our nations. Jazakallah, and thank you all for waiting. Assalamu alaikum.